maybe even 60-40, but I don't think it's all about men. But I think far too many women are quick to say it's not about men. Some of it is about men. A lot of it is about men.
Put it like this. The Civil War was fought over states' rights. States' rights to do what? It's not about men. But that image is there because of men.
What up, what up, what up, what up? It's Three Brothers, No Sense. I am Tavares Ferguson, a.k.a. Ferg. Join my co-hosts, Buff and Rozzy. Fellas, tell them what's on your minds.
We did a whole show last week and didn't mention the Super Bowl once. That is terrible on us, though.
We even talked about the NFL.
God, dog, man. But I did watch the game. I was looking forward to the halftime show. I saw a lot of people saying it was the greatest. No, it's not the greatest. It prompted me to go back, and I have now watched every Super Bowl halftime show from 1993. Every one that had an artist that I cared about. There's a couple of them I skipped, but Dr. Dre's halftime show was a top 5. And even though I'm a huge rap fan, I can't give it number 1. There have been some great performances over the time, but it is a top 5. So win for hip hop, or win for the West Coast, or win for Dre. Not the greatest in my opinion, but very, very good show.
Yeah. What's your greatest? What's your number 1 spot?
Man, believe it or not, dog, it might be Madonna. First off, I didn't even know she performed at a Super Bowl halftime show, but Madonna's up there, Diana Ross is up there, of course Dre, Beyonce, and
MJ, Prince.
I would give it to MJ, but this isn't MJ's fault. It was the first time they did one on that magnitude, and if you watch it, the cameras were not able to keep up with everything that he did. So it's some of the stuff you missed, you know what I mean? And plus, I ain't care for the song he did at the end. And I know people probably are mad, how can you not put Prince in it? I mean, if you've seen other Prince performances, that Super Bowl halftime show was not a top tier Prince performance. I mean, I think most people just included it because it was raining while he performed Purple Rain. And so that's dope to them. But I've seen him perform much better than that show. And I'm going to name one that people won't hate.
Shout out to the Marching 100.
Yeah. I know everybody hates Justin Timberlake, rightfully so, to an extent. But he did another one in 2018. Dude was jamming. My spirit can't put him as number 1 because of what happened between him and Janet. But most of that, I blame more so the media than I blame Justin Timberlake. You know what I mean? Like, he could have spoke up more or whatever, but it's the media that decide to shun Janet and forgive him. But he was jamming on 2018.
And if you haven't watched the documentary, Janet, she talks about that, and she told him not to speak out.
Yeah,
she's the one that told him not to do that.
That doesn't let him off though. He still could have said something. But yeah, man, go back and like Diana Ross, she clearly is not afraid of heights. Like, not only did she leave in a helicopter, but she was like hanging out the door of it as it left and took off. So I thought that was dope, man. But that's all I got on that, man. And I wanted to ask you two brothers, because we talked about Brian Flores either last show or a couple of shows ago. The NFL has hired Loretta Lynch to defend him. Are you guys disappointed in this sister defending the NFL against these racial claims that Flores has put forth?
Hey, you got to make that money, man. I ain't mad at her for doing her job. Like, do it well. You know, it's if they can defend it and it's defensible, then I'm all for the black lady getting, you know, the money for doing that. I'm good with that. I don't mind that. So, but I saw that they did hire him too. Shout out to the Steelers for hiring him. And it took a black coach to do it. So one of two,
Right.
I think, black coaches
Well,
still left.
not a head coach, but a defensive coordinator. But he has a job.
Yeah, they hired him as a defensive coordinator for
Mike McDaniel.
Yeah, that's the 1 and 2, right? Mike Tomlin and him.
No, it's the coach for the Texans.
I know, I just messed with that.
So it's 3, right? It's 3 now.
Technically it is. So, man, but all I got is Bel Air. Bel Air. Man, that reboot is fire. It's so dope. Just the opening scene, listening to Freeway, like the soundtrack alone gets you going when you watch Bel Air.
Who had a cameo, by the way, Freeway.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Yeah. The cameo. So I'm loving what they're doing with Bel Air, man. I don't want to give away too much. Ferg always talks about me spoiling everything, but if you haven't watched it, it's very much worth the $4 a month for Paramount Plus, just so you can watch it, or you can bootleg it, hit your Fire Stick, whatever you choose to do. But a lot of cable packages, if you still got cable, actually gives it to you free. So you can get Paramount Plus for free with your cable subscription. So go check it out, man. It's a great show. Will Smith did a really good job executive producing it, keeping the characters true to what underlying what they had, but at the same time refreshing it, making it new. Jeffrey's dope as I don't know what, man.
Jeffrey might be the dopest person on the show.
A small correction, is Peacock, right? Not Paramount.
Oh yeah, it's Peacock. My bad. Yep.
But to send people the wrong way. So I'm gonna continue that. So the characters are dope. Jeffrey is just a whole nother animal like that. I just like how they updated it. I've heard some negative or seen some negative feedback because people wanted it to be
a comedy.
A comedy.
Well, clearly they didn't watch the trailer.
And also, I think, and I hate to make it a black and white issue, but I saw a lot of, I guess, kickback from some people in the white community because this show is very black.
It's unapologetically so.
And to the point where I think Fresh Prince was safe for them. It was that safe black family that everybody could relate to, and they're like, we want to relate. We want that nostalgia, and it's like, oh no. It's like, wait, this is from the music to the characters, Hillary's not that little bubbly, almost white girl that, no, it's different. And I mean, and I'm gonna stop right there.
I was gonna say you hit it on, because the original one is black too, but it made them feel safe. Like Will was silly and goofy.
It's safe. Yeah, it's safe. I mean, in the first episode or the first 2 episodes, you see I think it was the first episode, there was that race issue, there was a racial tension, with Will Carlton and his homeboy. Mm-hmm. And but shout out to casting a dark-skinned Aunt Viv. That alone made my day. So I'm team dark-skinned Aunt Vivs, and might need to rank them, because this new Aunt Viv is giving first Aunt Viv a run for her money 3 episodes in. So she might end up taking the cake. But
she's the perfect blend of dark-skinned Viv and light-skinned Viv. She is that perfect blending of, I'm still really bougie, because dark-skinned Viv really wasn't that bougie. If you look at the episode, she really kind of leaned into that kind of I'm from West Philly type thing. This new Viv toes that line so perfectly. Like, she's like, I can function over there, but I'm still West Philly at the same time. So I like that she has that perfect balance. Yeah,
and the character arcs they're developing everybody. Her and her daughter's relationship, it's just very unique, and I like it. So hats off to, I talk about black shows. I think this has the potential of being a really good addition to that repertoire of black shows. So I was about to say something, Buff?
I was gonna say shout out to the young man who was just driving in Kansas City one day, went to a coffee shop and just came up with the concept. He's the one that created the original trailer back in 2019. Mm-hmm. And Will Smith saw it and was like, yo, that's how we need to do it. He reached out to him, and now he was like I think he was like one of the writers on the pilot episode or whatever.
Yeah. And they have so many nods to the original show. I like that.
Yeah.
They'll do little things here, little things there. Jazz is hilarious. I can't wait to see more of him. Like he's gonna be a good character. So that's about it, man. Let's go ahead and get into the show, fellas. Rozzy, you got a joke for us, or is I
do. Did you have anything you wanted to add, Ferg, or Bel Air was what you wanted to talk about?
I think Bel Air is it. That's good.
Okay, cool. So I just wanted to know, when your girlfriend comes home in a white suit covered in bee stings and smelling like honey, that's how you know she's a keeper. Get it? Keeper? Huh? Oh, y'all killing me, man. That was a good one.
As we wait for the laughter to die down from the Inspire You On Air audience and anyone else that's listening to us on the podcast platform, who wants to take the first question this week?
Yeah, when do y'all go first? I'm gonna fall back.
I can go first because actually it's a good continuation of the conversation we just had.
I thought you was a continuation of your joke. I was like, Lord.
It's all about beekeeping.
We let it down.
I think that one made some people mad. I think people are gonna be mad at that joke, bro.
Whatever, man. That's a good one. It's not like a good pun. So, but no, I think as a continuation of the conversation about Bel Air, I don't know if you guys saw Saturday Night Live when they made a spoof of the gritty remakes or whatever, and they did Family Matters, and they had Urkel kind of being like this gritty type of scientist kid, and they tried to remake Family Matters like that. But what I want to ask you guys is, what are some other historic or past sitcoms that, you know, they should remake, and what's kind of your take on it? So let's be that guy sitting down at the diner talking about what's the next thing and how we can reboot it.
Wow, that was I don't remember enough about Silver Spoon to articulate how I could remake it, but I will go with Saved by the Bell. I know they're remaking it, but it's not gritty, is it?
No, and it's pretty lame.
That's why
that's on Peacock too. That's why you haven't heard anything on it.
Yeah, man. Definitely, there could be a lot more racial tension. What was the name of their high school? Was it Bayside or whatever?
Bayside.
Yeah. So it definitely could be a lot more racial tension in that, and definitely Lisa Turtle could be like how Hillary is on Bel Air, in a sense, with the whole social media thing and stuff and fashion.
Leading to her blackness, right?
There's a lot they could do with that, man. So
that's actually good. I think about even like bullying. If you go back and look at their show, it's a lot like Zach Morris is trash. There's a whole YouTube video thing about how trash he was, but like the way they treated Screech and all that stuff, cyberbullying, it could definitely be a good show. Let me see.
So while you're thinking, I was thinking through as well, and I think A Different World's already kind of been done with Grownish, so I think between that and All American Homecoming, when that comes out, I think they're already doing that, so I really won't worry too much about A Different World. But my thought was on Girlfriends, because if you look, Girlfriends was almost a drama in itself, right? It was a lot of drama, but like Ferg, you talk about that whole struggle love thing that goes on. You know, you look at, what was it, Joan? Joan was Joan like left, and she was all about trying to find a man and stop being a lawyer and all this stuff. It's like, I think they could actually make that really, really good with those four people, and kind of bring in a little bit of Living Single into Girlfriends and make it about them living in the city and everything, but going through real stuff, kind of like an Insecure or something like that, and just really revamping it, but using those same characters, because I like the dynamics of their characters, kind of like what Bel-Air did, would keep them true to themselves, but at the same time retell it and reimagine it in today's world. So that's my take. That's where I would go with it, is kind of taking growth.
But I kind of feel like Insecure was that. I kind of feel like Insecure, and actually with that one, I would be nervous to see that, honestly, because those characters, they were trash. They were trash friends. They were horrible. They were really bad horrible friends, and I would hate to see. But we glorified it. You know, we accepted it because it was comical. I would hate to see them portray Black women who are all strong in their own individual sense. Like, they could really throw some shade in there. Like, it could get grimy, and I just
it could. But I think when you look at Bel-Air and how they reimagined, like, the Banks had money. Like, Banks were kind of rich in Fresh Prince. Got Banks. They got money now with the house manager and stuff. Like, I could see that where they're elevating those characters, and Joan being very, very like a Philip Banks, like very high, you know, having a lot of money and everything, but then working through the whole, not from a comedy standpoint, but working through how do I get a man, right? And be this very, very successful person, and struggling with that. So I think, like you said, Insecure was a little different because Issa Rae started, right, where she really didn't have any money. She didn't make it until towards the end, where I think if you start Girlfriends, they've made it already and they're doing well, and they still have to deal with those different things. And so, you know, talking about racism and how they react to some of the things that are happening in the Black Lives Matter movement in current day, I think to see their different perspectives on it, right? Okay. I think that's where they can go and really get and make it closer to home. I
just feel like, kind of like with Insecure, you would always question, like, why are they still friends? And in this show, in Girlfriends, there was a lot of times I'm like, why are they still hanging out? Like, they are horrible to each other. But you're right. I think a lot of the success, a lot of things that are going on would be very interesting to see how Black women and William would navigate that in today's world. But you actually brought up the show that was in the back of my mind. Living Single would be super dope in today's world. Of course, I would love to see Kyle Barker navigate 2022 and dating during the pandemic, things like that. His social awareness, how Overton and Sinclair would really do in a real life relationship, and they weren't all just, comedy. Killer Maxine Shaw as a killer attorney, Khadijah's social media influencer, because Flavor wouldn't be a magazine today, right? She'll have her own TikTok or something, and on the verge of getting bought out at any moment. Like she's
Harlem, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's yeah.
I've only watched one episode.
Them boys hate Harlem. I gave Harlem a shot, man.
Yeah,
the one you mentioned though, Rozzy, you said Saturday Night Live did Family Matters. Like you mentioned how they did with Urkel, but I would love to see how Eddie Winslow looks at his dad during the whole Blue Lives Matter versus Black Lives Matter and things like that, and see how Carl deals with it, like how he deals with his coworkers and stuff.
That would be would be just that would be super interesting to see, because we always talk about that, the Black police officer, fitting in, how just seeing him navigate his family, trying to do better for his family, but still, is he one of them? Right. Is he one of us?
Yeah.
That would be very interesting. His kids growing up. Steve Urkel would be considered a stalker by today's standards.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't even know how that works. He's a creepy character. if you think about in the real world, we all got daughters.
If I remember correctly, though, the only defense you can give Steve is the few times he started looking at another chick, then Laura kind of wait a minute, what about me? You supposed to be sweating me.
Yeah, she did. She got jealous. So I can see, I think that's I would reimagine that where he's not stalking her. He's loved her from, they grew up together in the same neighborhood. He's been her friend the whole time. He's loved her, but not in a stalkerish way. It's like we talked about the other episode, right? He's in the friend zone. And he knows he's in the friend zone, but he wants to get out. So he's trying to navigate that, talking to her about other boyfriends and giving her relationship advice, and the whole time
Laura
that
dates
needs
trash
to be
dudes.
me.
Laura
She does. She very trash dudes. And so that whole time, and then like you say, Byron, at the same time, it's like, oh wait,
she's hating on him.
She's hating on him as soon as he starts looking for somebody. So, and like you see how Bel Air brought Lisa in very early in the series, so I could see what was her name, Myra or whatever, coming in really, really early in it, and now it is that tug back and forth where I loved Laura all my life, but at the same time, Myra's this new chick, and now Laura's pissed because I'm talking to her, and so you can see kind of that love triangle going on with that. So I can see it working.
We giving away too much free game right now. We might need to get together.
Man, I like where that's going.
Let's make a trailer.
We talk about that whole, women dating all these bad guys and then going through the stage and they want to come back and date Steve Urkel. Mm-hmm. So almost like the Dwayne Wayne thing, where he goes off to internship, he comes back this dude, like you want to see the growth of him, that young kind of, I'm nerdy but I'm cool, I'm just not as cool as you because you put Laura on this pedestal. She's class president, head cheerleader, she's all this stuff, and Steve's just an average guy that just gets passed by, but they've been friends.
He's Spider-Man, right? Like he's Peter Parker. It's like, boom, I got a little clique of friends over here. We're nerds. We do science fair stuff and everything like that. But I'm not. And you got to think, in today's environment, the nerds are kind of cool. Like he's like an anime and he's doing all that, and so he can have his friend group and not be this super ostracized person. But like Byron said, I think we giving way too much away. I don't want to get down that rabbit hole. We need to write this.
Hey, let's talk after the show.
Yeah. So Byron, what you got for us?
So it's a two-part question, fellas. First, on social media, do you guys personally care about likes? Why or why not? And should social media get rid of them? Because I know it's been some talk. I know at one time I think Instagram was talking about getting rid of likes, but they haven't from what I've seen so far. So should they? But do you guys care about them? And I ask that because the easy answer is people always say, no, I don't care about likes. I call BS on that. For the most part, 99% of the people on social media, you care about likes. Now, to what degree, it's debatable. But if you're making posts and no one ever likes them, no one ever gives you any engagement, you're essentially just talking to yourself. No one likes talking to themselves, and you would eventually just stop posting. Hey, nobody's engaging with me. This isn't for me. So I think we all care about likes to a certain degree, but I wanted to put it to you guys. Do you care about them? Why or why not? And should social media get rid of them?
Byron, you called me out. So, because my initial response is like, hell no, I don't care about likes. But you're right to a certain extent where, for me, it's about engagement. So if I make a post and there's no engagement, that to me is kind of weird. Now, I'm not necessarily looking for a lot of engagement. It's just like almost, to me, texting the world, just having a conversation like, what y'all up to? Or this is what I'm thinking about. And then you send like a group text and nobody responds. And so I think that's kind of what social media is like. So likes and all of them are just kind of, to me, an easy way to show somebody that you're engaged in the conversation. I prefer replies over likes, honestly. Like, I want to hear your thought process.
Facts.
Rather than just a likes. But, a like or love or laugh or whatever, it's just kind of like, good one, Byron, like. Like, it's just, I don't have enough to say about it, but it's just, I acknowledge your comment. It keeps going. I don't crave likes. I don't crave it, but I do appreciate the combo and the, interaction.
Yeah, I definitely care. I mean, it's no point of being on social media if you don't care, right? Like I'm trying to be social. Like you talked about sending a group text. I almost look at it like I'm walking up to a group of friends in person and trying to start a conversation and nobody respond, or everybody look at me, you know, and you've had it, right? Or I've had it where I walk up and like, hey, what's going on? And people like, you know, psh, and keep going on with their conversation, right? Like growing up, there was instances like that. And so definitely want that engagement that you talk about, Ferg. Like I want to know that you acknowledge what I said, you like it or dislike it or disagree or whatever. You know, I don't post just to post, right? I'm posting to engage with the other people on social media. But at the same time, I'm not to the point where if I post something and it doesn't get any likes, I'm disappointed. So that's where I will say I really don't care about it, because it doesn't hurt me. It doesn't hurt my feelings if I don't get a like. Like I know Haley, for example, if she posts something and it gets no like, she probably will delete the post, right? It's like, oh, nobody's engaged or whatever, delete it. Maybe go back and do it, upload it again. Maybe it was the algorithm, it bad time and whatever. Let me reword it or whatever. So she'll go and delete certain things. That's the point to where I think people care too much if they're deleting because nobody engaged, or they feel bad because nobody engaged on what they post. Like and for me, I don't post a lot anyway. Like I share a lot of stuff where it's like, oh, this is interesting for people to see. But I could care less if anybody really liked most of the stuff that I post. So,
I didn't even know that was a thing.
What?
I didn't know that people. Yeah, like I've never deleted a post because it wasn't engaging. For me, I want the interaction, but there's posts that might get 200 likes and everybody in the world responds, or there might be posts where 15 people like, but 3 or 4 people respond, and those conversations between those 3 or 4 people are just as entertaining for me. But I mean, I think there is some joy that comes with, you know, I think Byron, and you pay attention to it, in my opinion, probably more than us. You'll notice how many likes and how many shares, and like, man, this is still going, and this contacted, you know, with Facebook, you see how many people this has reached, and those things, they make you feel good. It's like, man, you do the majority of our posts anyway. And so it makes us feel good, like you found something that resonated with the people. But I guess I give myself a cop-out because, like Rod said, it's an algorithm. I just assume that people didn't see it. Of course they want to respond to my post. They just didn't see it.
Because you're a little bit of a narcissist, right? Just a tiny bit.
But you don't see everybody's posts. You know, it's like, because we'll come in here, did you see that I's post? I'm like, no. So we have to go look for it. You know, we miss posts.
Some people posts will be at the top of my timeline that's like 5 days old. Like, how's this here?
I don't know how the algorithm comes or what goes on. But the interaction's good. That's kind of why we do our show.
So Ferg, I think you had a great answer in that, and I didn't think about it until you said it. Like, I actually care about the interaction more than the like. Like, I've had posts that have had like 80-some comments and like 7 likes. You know what I mean? It's about the conversation. So for me, it kind of varies. Like for me, if I post a picture, it's because I like the picture, or I want to keep it for memory. I use Facebook as like my photo album. So if I ever want to go back and print it out one day for a physical photo album, I can. But if I post a picture, it's because I think it's dope, or I like the memory that it makes for me. So I don't really care about likes on pictures or whatever. In fact, I expect women to get likes. I don't think likes are for men. Maybe that's sexist. I don't know. But that's just how I feel. God's still working on me. Now, when I post certain things like comments and things, I like that interaction. If I post an article, it's not my article. I may think the article is cool. You know, people don't like to read on social media, so I don't usually expect those type of things to get a lot of engagement unless the headline is like really, I guess, juicy or whatever. So I'm with you on that. I like the interaction more. So than the likes. Now, I will, unlike you two, I will go and delete a post. If I post something and then I go back and look at it, it's like, okay, that could be taken out of context, or now that I'm reading it, that's not how I meant it. And so I'll delete it and either repost it or just forget about it. It just depends. But my second question, do you think social media should get rid of likes? Because they've done studies that said that it messes with, especially young people's self-esteem, but I think it messes with adult self-esteem as well. So
it definitely does. I don't think they should get rid of it, because like you said, there's something about the engagement piece of it, right? And so I want to know that you saw it and you engaged. I don't know how you do that. I mean, if it's not a like, what is it? Like a little post that says I read that, or or I agree, disagree. Like that's what the thumb up is, right? Yeah. The like or the thumbs up is literally, oh, okay, I got it, I engaged, I saw it. Good point. Like Ferg said, it's that's why they have the other reactions there for all the other things that you can do. But I don't think it needs to be taken down. I think what has to happen is people need to really discuss addiction, social media addiction, and that type of thing, because that's really the issue. It's not the likes, it's the notifications, it's the having to open up your social media app 17 million times to see did you get the likes or not. It's that when you hear that ding and the notification comes up, that little bit of euphoria that you get, right? That's what brings you back. It's the same thing that is with any type of addiction, right? They like it. That's why they make the pans at casinos 10. So when the little thing, when the money comes out, or it recreates that sound because it gives you that little dopamine high. So I think that's the part. And so like for me, I silence my notifications. So I don't get any notifications from social media. And just by doing that, I saw that I check social media a lot less after that, because you don't get that notification saying something happened, so you don't have to go back. So if you guys are kind of thinking about that, there's a great documentary on Netflix called I can't remember, Social Experiment, something like that. I'll get you the name of it. But it's a great documentary that talks about that and how people are just becoming addicted to social media. I think that's a bigger issue than getting rid of the likes. If anything, I would say get rid of the notifications, but that blows up their business model. So they're trying to use the likes as a scapegoat for the part of the addiction, which I think the notification is the worst part of it.
I don't know if they should get rid of it, but I think they should definitely look into it more. So we're thinking about the likes. There's other options. There's the dislikes. There's a negative part of it that can definitely bring somebody down. And a lot of those things become social bullying, where you take down your post because of the negative comments or the negative things that happen with it. And so I think the closest thing I can compare it to off the top of my head was Mobile in the mid 90s, when everybody converted to uniforms, because the social aspect of how people were coming dressed to school became more problematic. Then, it was too big of a distraction. It was all about name. People couldn't focus. It's all about name brands, tags, and all that stuff. And if you weren't in a certain aspect, if you weren't getting enough likes, if you weren't getting enough respect for your shoes or whatever the case may be, for a lot of people, it crushed their self-esteem. And to a lot of people, they found other ways, or, some were illegal, to try to figure out how to make up for that. They craved the attention or the need for acceptance to come with those things. Like I might be able to heel figure, but at least I could wear a duck head. If I can't, I have to. Even when we got into uniforms, it was still a hierarchy on those things. And so social media, there's a hierarchy with it. And if you're not at the top, if you're at the bottom of that bell curve, there's people suffering. Should it be as serious as it is? But we're also talking about kids. Think about the things that bothered us growing up. The little things. You haven't hit their growth spurt, or girls hadn't hit puberty and they weren't developing. Those were everyday life things that we dealt with as kids that bothered the hell out of us. Yeah. Throw in social media where you have friends who have 10,000 followers and all this stuff, and you can't do the same thing. Well, sorry, Byron, what you about to say?
No, I didn't know you. I didn't know if you were you finished.
Yeah,
I didn't mean to cut you off. I was just gonna say, no, don't get rid of the likes. Don't get rid of the likes because I mean, not everybody's gonna like what you put out there, and that's kind of like social media. That's what makes it kind of close to real life in a sense. Is that not everything you put out there or say people are gonna agree with. So I think it's cool to see how many people are rocking with what you posted and how many people are not. Also, I think, Rozzy, you mentioned like the whole notification thing. I definitely had to turn mine off because not just with social media, but I just can't stand those little notification reminders on my phone. Like even with email, it drives me crazy. So I hate that. But the coolest part is because we're in a society where everybody is fighting for attention and it's hard to get attention from people. You know, we promote this show to try to get listens, you know, every week throughout the week. So when we make a post, especially on Three Brothers, like Ferg, you mentioned, I do most of the posts. It's kind of cool. Like sometimes I make a post and forget about it. And then I go and check it like later that day, like the whole, like the screenshot of the tweet where the gentleman said, ladies, if guys will screw everything, why are y'all getting all these surgeries? When I opened up the app and it had all these, I was like, oh, this one then blew up. You know what I mean? So that's always kind of cool to see sometimes, especially when you've forgotten about the post completely and you open it up and it's like, yo, why is there so much engagement? And you're like, oh, okay. So that part is cool.
Yeah, my problem is, or my concern is the young people who are struggling with self-esteem and self-worth. And it's another avenue. And it's easy to tell them just to get off social media and do all this stuff. But the same thing our parents told us, you know, well, don't worry about them bullying you. It's easy to say when you're an adult and you're hopefully, and I can't just say because you're an adult, you're mature, but you're a little more mature, emotionally mature. But we're asking that for kids. And then it seems like, to Rozzy's point earlier, it's carrying over to adulthood. These people are thriving and they need that attention. And I don't know if it's how, I don't know the long-term effect of it.
Probably why the amount of surgeries have gone up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not for men though. It's not for men.
You know what? You know what? That's gonna be my question. Let's talk about it.
Oh man!
Oh Lord!
Oh man! He's trying to set us up, man. Go ahead, bro.
After reading the comments yesterday, Buff, pull up the
actual tweet.
Yes, and read it out for me, sir, please.
So, and by the way, you should be following us on Facebook and Instagram at Three Brothers No Sense. Also on Twitter at Brothers Sense on Twitter. But the post that we posted, which now has like 3 shares, 49 comments, 44 likes, it's reached over 1,000 people. The screenshot said, if men will literally screw anything, why y'all getting all these surgeries?
I guess question 1 is, do you believe it is about men?
50-50. Maybe even 60-40, but I don't think it's all about men. But I think far too many women are quick to say it's not about men. Some of it is about men. A lot of it is about men.
Put it like this. The Civil War was fought over states' rights. States' rights to do what? It's not about men. But that image is there because of men. So yes, it is because of men underlying. It's 7 degrees of separation to get there, but yes, it is about men. Because if men didn't like it, if that wasn't the beauty standard, right? Which it comes from the opposite sex actually saying that's what the beauty standard is. If it wasn't for that, then the social media and other women and the beauty standard wouldn't be that. So then you wouldn't look at yourself and say, oh, I'm too fat, I need lipo or whatever. Like if the beauty standard was something different, then you'd be doing whatever. You remember back in the 80s when women were trying to get flat butts because that was the beauty standards. Now, women are going out and getting BBLs because that's the beauty standard. Why is that the beauty standard? Because people started liking that. Men started liking that now. And that became a thing. So society follows the trend, and your bodies and your visions of beauty follows that trend, but it all underlying is because of a man or because of men there.
I like that. You kind of corrected my answer a bit, bro. I said 60-40, maybe it's 80-20. But let me ask you this, Rozzy, and maybe it'll go to 90-10 depending on how you answer this. So what about, because I made this comment on the post, there are some women that have had like 2 or 3 babies. Body ain't what it used to be. She's happily married, but for herself, she doesn't like what childbirth has done to her body, and she would love to get it back to how it was. Not looking for any attention from any other man, just for herself. She wants to be how she was. Now you can counter and say, well, but she still cares how her husband looks at her, which is still doing it for a man. How do you view that version of it?
No, I think they're not mutually exclusive. I going back to, she is definitely doing it for herself. It's for her self-esteem. It's what she wants, right? She likes that body looking that certain way. Right. But going back to kind of what I talked about, that 7 degrees of separation, she wants that body to look that certain way because that is what the beauty standard is. So if the beauty standard was that your hung down to your knees, then boom, let me pop out some baby so my titties can hang down to my knees. Like if that's what it was, and that's what you were striving for, then you wouldn't have a problem with that. What it is social media. Everybody tells you that is the beauty standard, is that tight, flat stomach, the big boobs that sit up right up under your chin. That's what they strive for. So when they look in the mirror and they're like, I liked my body the other way, they liked it the other way because society told them that's what bodies should look like.
Yeah and no.
Okay.
Because there's society. Because I mean, depends on how far you go to one side. Like, I think there's people that just want to be a better version of themselves. Like, it's not, I don't really care. I've seen it where they don't care about what others think. They're not going out getting, the BBLs is too much. Like, they just said, hey, you know what? I've never liked my, they can get in the gym, they can do whatever they want because they just never like their ass. Hell, Rozzy, would you be taller if you could be taller? Would we all be taller if we could be taller? It's like I don't want to be taller because of women. I would love how I would look in a suit. I want to be taller, and there was a way to be 6'2" tomorrow. Would you do it? Is it necessary for women? Now, if I'm trying to be 6'8" because I know women like tall dudes, I want to look like a basketball player, maybe it's too far. I don't think it's all about men for every woman. I think there's people who need that to potentially value themselves or increase their value. Like, they think their value is only in their, I don't want to say that because that's just that comes off sexist. But it's like somebody mentioned yesterday, why are women becoming carbon copies of each other? If you're just doing things like, you know what, I had kids and I breastfed and they took all the life out of my breast, and I just at least want to look a certain way when I put a dress on. I want to be able to wear a certain shirt and just not feel, depleted. I just need that confidence back. Mm-hmm. I don't think that doesn't necessarily have the plus side is, yes, your husband, boyfriend, baby daddy, or whoever else might like it, but that's just for you. But when you go get, double G's or whatever they're going out there, it's like, you're doing too much. The BBLs, to me, are too much. It's like, why are you all doing the exact same ridiculous thing?
I agree. I mean, I'm not saying, like Byron said, 90-10, 80-20. I'm not saying women consciously are like, I'm doing this for a man. Like, they really are doing it for them. It's no different than me going to get a haircut back when I got haircuts, right? Before I start shaving bald. Like, you feel a certain type of way when you get clean, when you go get a nice suit that fits right, when you feel a certain type of way. I get that. That's 100%. And so, yes, if you're going out and you want to tighten up, or you want that breast lift or whatever, because you want to feel that certain type of way, what I'm saying is, ultimately you got to follow the trail to why you want to look that way and feel, and what makes you feel that way. Like before society started telling us that we needed to look that certain way and our hair needed to be cut and it needed to be fresh cut, you could have your hair dreaded up and nobody would care, right? Like society was telling you that was fine or whatever. So I think it's a little bit of that's why I say 7 degrees of separation. It's going all the way back. Ultimately, yes, but no, I don't think physically or consciously they're saying I'm doing it for a man. So I think both answers are right.
Plus, everybody out here lying. Both sides are doing a bit of lying. Because like some women will say they're not doing it for men. They're not doing it for men. But then I also see these same women when a surgery goes wrong on a woman and she, dies or whatever like that. And people will say, well, why was she getting surgery? And these same women will say, well, you men put so much pressure on us because that's what y'all like. So wait a minute, you just told us it wasn't out, you wasn't for us. Now you're telling us we putting the pressure on y'all. Which one is it? And then the man out here lying too. I made this comment, and I know, judging by her GIF, however you pronounce it, I guess April Reed didn't like it. She thought it was a little too political, but I do think both sides are lying because I have seen the rapper Moneybagg Yo say he wants a woman that's natural. He don't like all that fake stuff. He's dating Ari, who's had work done.
But Z and I had this conversation yesterday or the other day. Let's call it. It's like, yeah, I'll drive the Lambo, but it's not the family car. It's not the car that I'm gonna have my kids and like. A lot of guys that I know that are, I'm not gonna say most guys. Those things are they can be attractive done properly, right? You got a nice BBL, you get the lace front, like all that stuff. It's attractive, but when it comes down to what I want to be with long term, like I haven't met a guy to this day that's like, man, I just need a woman that's gonna be good to my kids, has a nice BBL. Like that's never been on the list of what I want to settle down with. I've never heard that, but I have heard, I'm trying to go to the club, and you saw the chick with the big ass, I'm trying to smash that. And you might date her for a little while because she's cool and stuff like that. But I don't think guys aren't going to, it's there. It's like, why turn it away? That's not something I'm necessarily looking for, but hey, it's there. And I'm gonna take advantage of the situation, whatever that may be. Now, we might fall in love and get married and stuff like that, but it was never on my list to go fall in love with a chick with the BBL. Never heard a man put that on his checklist of things that he's looking for in a future spouse.
I hear you, but they're the ones that's getting, the hundred thousands of likes and able to monetize their pictures because that's what they the ones that's getting snatched up by the ballers.
Yeah, they like it. They like how it look, but are those ballers burying them? Are they usually in good, healthy relationships? If I was single and I wasn't looking to get married, yes, I'm gonna have me a trophy chick. Why not? Why have the girl next door and I can have the IG model if I'm not trying to be serious?
It comes down to what I'm looking for in a relationship at that time, right? I'm not looking to settle down. I'm looking for the trophy wife. I'm looking to go out and have a good time and every time something happens. Like that's what I'm looking to do with this person that I'm with right now. So I'll go get the IG model or the Instagram chick or the one with the have all that. But when it's time to settle down, that stuff becomes unattractive, right? Like all that other stuff that's there. Like like you said, you don't care about that. It's not the top of the priority list.
So it's two things, Brian. I see where you're going. So there's men will lock it down, like to keep the IG. Like I gotta make her my lady, so she ain't smashing other rappers because men have this small ego. So I gotta lock her down. I don't want anybody else smash her. So I'm gonna make her my lady, and so I can take her wherever I want to go. I can have her on my arm. I can do all that stuff because that's the game I'm playing right now. But I think for me, what Razi's saying is, dudes can be trash too. Dudes, we're not always looking to be in a relationship, and there's, to me, the type guys who are looking to be in a serious relationship and looking for certain qualities in women, that's never been on the top of their list. Now, if you have it, that's it. But when you're looking to be, I think when you're looking for the right reasons to be in relationships, or you're trying to prepare for a real relationship, there's certain things that you consider. I
think you're right. It's not at the top of our list, but we can be very visual. So that surgery they get, that helps them grab our attention quicker. And that's all they want. And so I think it sends a mixed signal when we say, well, we'll date you, but you're not the one we're going to choose for life. I mean, is that even really true? I'm sure there's plenty of BBLs that's getting.
But to me, I would think a lot of the type guys they're attracting are, like you said, the ballers. You got the rappers, and all these people that might be getting these IG models, and they can get married. But how many of those guys you think are looking to truly settle down? You're married to this rapper. Do you think
traveling? He's on the road 400 days a year. Yeah, like it's.
He's still out here doing his thing, because I don't think he loves you, but is he in the mindset really to try to create a family and being a loving and healthy marriage? And he's still probably gonna be out there finding the next chick. Guess what? He's gonna smash the next chick with the BBL because it captures his attention.
I think it's a risk they're willing to. It's a risk they're willing to take, because the janitor slanging pipe across the city too. I mean, so it doesn't matter what the profession is.
No, I just think any. Okay.
I think, like you said, like it's how do you get the initial attention, right?
You're gonna get the attention. Let's go.
I will go get the surgery so I can get the initial attention, and then maybe the girl with the BBL has the best personality ever, but she wasn't getting noticed before, and so now she went and got the BBL. Now she's getting noticed. Now her personality can come through.
Yeah.
So don't discount the woman because she went and got a BBL. She isn't wifey material. She can be wifey material when she gets the BBL.
Yeah, glad we cleared up. What I'm saying is, I don't think the average guy goes in there like, man, she has a nice ass. I hope she's wifey material. Like, that's you got what you wanted.
But most guys don't go into any relationship like, oh, I hope she's wifey material. Most guys go in to smash, and then she hooks. That's her hook, and then she got him. And eventually, you wake up. I always say it. Dating is nothing but a marathon. And one morning you're gonna wake up and you be like, look around, and you be like, I ain't got no more. That's really what it is.
Okay, so let's be honest. There have been chicks that you've met, and you're like, I just want to smash. There's no way I can ever be with this chick. Probably because how she presented herself when we first met. Like, we're at the club, the way she's dressed and stuff like this. All I want to do is smash. That, hands down, no questions asked. This can't go any further. There was chicks I met, and it's like, she seems like a cool chick. I would love to smash, because once again, it's all about smashing in the beginning. Love to smash, but she seems like she's a cool chick. I like the way she carries herself, blah, blah, blah. When I met Z, the way she carried herself, it was something about that chick that I just wanted to, like, I wanted to get to know her better. But there's other chicks that were there that I was like, doubt, if this don't work out, I'm just trying to smash these chicks. Like, it's...
Yeah.
And I feel like...
I get that, but again, that can happen, and then we still can blossom into a great relationship, right? I even with that girl that I looked at as like, oh, I'm just trying to smash, never gonna go there with her, and boom, all of a sudden we're in a full-on relationship. It happens, right? Yeah. But I think what you're saying is that, oh yeah, if you have that style and that personality from the rip, yeah, guys are gonna probably try to wife you up faster. But it's relationships are crazy like that anyway, man. They go all kind of everywhere. So I think how you catch them is going to probably gauge how fast you can get into a relationship. But it doesn't negate that you can't get into a relationship with them.
But I think that first impression is huge. Like you said, that initial attention. This is what got my initial attention. And so when I get this initial attention, if my mind is focused, that might not even allow me to see your personality, because all I'm doing is thinking about how you presented yourself. I think first impressions are big, especially in the dating world, until you get to, if Risey came out there, went someplace and was dressed like a thug, and a chick just saw you, and maybe her impression of you is just you're your thug. She wouldn't know you are as successful as you are, that you could be the quintessential family man and all this stuff. Same thing with a chick. I see you as in my mind as this chick that's craving for attention. You know, she was really flirty at the club. She got this thing going. Yada. In your mind, you can potentially put her in a box that she doesn't deserve to be in. But I forgot who it was. The comedian's like, I'm not saying you're a hoe, but you got a whole uniform on. So it's you presented yourself in my eyes. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm narrow-minded as a man, but like you did all this. I'm not saying she's a hoe. I'm not saying she's not wifey material. She damn sure got the ass that says otherwise. So hopefully we don't get canceled.
Rozzy cleaned it up for us a little bit.
Yeah. I'm glad you did that. Like, I'm not saying that women can't. There's somebody out there for everybody, right? You can find a good relationship if you're ready to be in a relationship and that person's ready to be in a relationship. But it's when you present yourself a certain way, even that's not your intention, don't be surprised if the attention you're getting or the results you're getting comes with that attention. Like if you present yourself as this sexual creature and stuff, like men are just coming at you in a sexual way, or they put you on this sexual pedestal. We don't need help. We don't need help sexualizing y'all. Put it that way.
I like that.
We don't need any more help trying to figure out why we want to smash you. This just blinded me to everything else.
Good question, Buff. Good question.
Well, that one was Ferg's, but it was from the post.
Oh, it was. It was. Oh, okay. Yeah. So good post, Buff.
Yeah. It caused a lot of heat, man. Shoot.
Yeah, but I think women are a lot of them are doing stuff for themselves too, because I feel like it is that.
Yeah, because those eyelashes got to be for them. Because I don't know any man that's asked for that.
No man.
But the thing about it is,
oh my god.
But the thing about it is, when they put the package together, for a lot of them, it looks good. Now, some of the eyelashes are way too, but it's like when they put everything, they present it all in a nice package, and if you don't go over the top, and you got you got wings sitting on your face, it could be like, that's not necessarily what I'm looking for, but it is attractive. Like you can like, okay, I necessarily looking for this type chick, but yeah, she looks good. And so if I was out in the streets, I would shoot my shot just because of that moment of what you presented. And I like what I saw in that moment.
And a lot of it is going back to that social media thing. It looks really good in pictures on social media. If it's done right? Like, as long as it's not the butterfly wings, but a natural lash does actually it accentuates. It's no different than makeup and everything else. It accentuates everything. It draws attention. It does look good if the picture is right. Yeah. The issue comes in when you see it in person. Same with the lace front, right? It's like lace front can look great in a picture, but when you get close, you be like, ooh, you start seeing the gaps and all that stuff. It doesn't look all that great, in person.
We're saying some ladies, so we're not discouraging ladies.
Rozzy just erased all his goodwill.
Rozzy, you trying to get us shot. But like that stuff, it can look good, but is that necessarily what? And I think now it's becoming the norm. So I think some of those things, guys are expecting that now. It's kind of, this is what I'm supposed to want. This is what, if I can have this, then why not?
I'm gonna leave that to them young boys.
Yeah.
Ain't what I want.
Yeah.
So, not to say a wig is not, I've seen really good wigs. I've seen really good wigs. We had this whole conversation. Remember, I've seen good wigs and the install's right. If it's on point, it can work. But
yeah, what advice?
Day 4, day 5.
And if a good wig can increase your sex life, right? Because now you can do the little kinky
shit. Instead of smacking them on the butt.
Lift it up and scratch her scalp.
That's another post, people. You got to go to. Check us out on 3 Brothers No Sense at Facebook. On Facebook. So, fellas, let's go ahead and close it out, man. I had fun this show.
Only thing I got, man, is I don't know if you guys know Kim Potter. She's the police officer that shot Dante Wright. She was sentenced to 2 years in prison. Which, it may not be enough time for some folks, but at least it's something at this point. I mean, we got to really take what we can with the whole holding police accountable for doing dumb things. so that, like we said, I respect the police. I respect the blue. I definitely do. But there's some folks out there that do bad things. You got to hold them accountable so that the good apples, we really can't say there are a few bad apples. But if you don't hold the bad apples accountable and actually do things when they do dumb stuff, then, you know, it spoils that whole bunch. And so I'm glad to see that they are stepping up across the country and across the nation and really holding people accountable, even if it's not equitable to, you know, low-level drug offenses getting 10 years. We want to give her 2 years for murder, but worst case scenario, at least it's something. And so I just, you know, appreciate that judge for at least giving that.
I just want to say that the Democratic Party sucks. And we've said that on this show before. I think each of us individually have said it at one time or another, and we hear it all the time. The Democratic Party sucks. But I also want to say a lot of their supporters suck as well. When you look back at the Bernie Bros and the whole Never Hillary thing back in 2016, and speaking of Hillary, how some of the Democratic supporters were obsessing with her emails, like taking on that conservative right-wing talking point. And then you look at what Trump has done. I mean, it doesn't even compare, but, you know, her emails. And every 2 years, I see a certain amount of supporters trying to push out Speaker Pelosi and saying that, you know, her time is past and this, that, and other. She is quite possibly, I've called Mitch McConnell the most effective politician in my lifetime. On the Democratic side, I don't think you guys know the work that Pelosi puts in. She's like their top fundraiser. She's the one that got Obamacare across the finish line and a whole lot of other big legislation that the Democratic Party has wanted. She's done it, and she's taken all the bullets and arrows from the right wing. And the only thing we give her in return is how she needs to leave and how she's too right wing. So I'm not absolving the Democratic Party of their sins. Like, they definitely played follow the leader on the Iraq war. They should have been the ones to stand up. We had a couple of members that did, but not enough. There's no way we should have went to Iraq after we were attacked in 9/11. Even parties within the party, the Congressional Black Caucus, they don't lead. They wasn't even for Obama at first. They were Team Hillary until they saw him gaining steam. Then they switched sides. They should have been leading the pack saying, no, it's this brother's time now. But they were right along the Democratic Party telling him to wait his turn. They also were for the crime bill that everybody wanted to blame Hillary for in 2016, which she never voted for because she wasn't, when she ran for president in 2016, they would blame her for the crime bill in 94. She had no voting power. Yet these same people love Bernie Sanders, who did vote for the crime bill at the time. But y'all didn't give him any blame for that. And they constantly take the black vote for granted. So I'm not absolving the Democratic Party of their sins. We always pick on them, but the supporters need to push the party better. When's the last time you seen a strong push for gun rights when it wasn't right after a mass shooting? Don't wait for when there's a mass shooting. Do it now. You don't see Trump people waiting for something. They push stuff now. There's no election going on, and they have been setting up the chess pieces so that next time he will have the right people in place to put him in office, even if he loses. That's the type of stuff we need to do. And last but not least, how some of the supporters are trash. A lot of Democratic supporters push the party to be on this whole climate thing, climate change. We need to do something about the climate. Yet these same people are such big cryptocurrency people. And if you look at how cryptocurrency is mined and made, it is destroying the planet. If you care about that kind of stuff, don't say you care about it, and then you're this big Bitcoin, Dogecoin, or whatever else these damn coins are called. It's killing the planet. It uses more electricity for one coin than like several countries combined. So yes, the Democratic Party sucks, but the supporters, the voters, if you call yourself a Democrat, you need to do better too. I don't know where that came from. I just felt like being political.
Love it.
That's a hard act to follow. But when you were saying that, it just made me think, I think a lot of the Democratic supporters are one of our biggest problems or challenges is we have this political conscience or moral standard that is based off of emotions, and emotions are usually their highest while things are going on. So we're mad about gun laws when something happens because consciously, morally, we figure it out. But that's our basis. When we're past that, when those emotions die off, we ride back into the sunset of just political silence. So I want to take a minute, and I would be remiss if we did not end this show without taking a moment to give our condolences to our brother, Michael McCoy, and his family on the recent loss of his mother, Gail McCoy. We're going to miss you. We love you. Your family, your kids are in good hands. You fought a good fight. We lost her this past week, so if you do get a chance to talk to Mike or any of his family members, just send your love their way. But we're going to have a moment of silence, and then I'm going to take us out. Alrighty, thank you for tuning in. This is Three Brothers No Sense, your favorite podcast. Remember the 6 rules: listen, like, share, subscribe, and comment. And most importantly, listen again. Talk to you next week.